Hey friends, Kim from stampingimperfection.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you subscribe and click that bell so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. I have a quick card I want to share today. I'm using another sketch. This is again from the Atlantic Heart Sketch Challenge, and I quite like the sketch. It's got like 3 stripes in the back, and then it's got this little like looks like a triple matted rectangle, some embellishments, a sentiment, a ribbon, and a floral image. And I'm going to stick with the floral image just because I haven't done a floral in a while. So I'm starting with a white card panel, and this is cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And instead of doing stripes, which I could do, there's lots of different ways you could get stripes onto your paper, I decided that I'm just going to treat that like it's one background strip down the center of the card. So I pulled out some Altenew wide washi tape, and this is one of their dotted ones. This is just black and white, and I really like it. So my interpretation of that sketch is that I can put anything behind that card panel that I want. It doesn't have to be stripes. So I'll start by stamping the florals that I'm going to use. And this is a very loved stamp set of mine. This is called Sunlit Flowers. And I'm going to do one of the larger blooms and then 2 of the smaller blooms. And I'm just using my Altenew permanent ink pad, which is starting to seem a little dry here because I actually had to ink these up 3 times. So I'll be re-inking that later, just because that doesn't usually happen with my Altenew ink pad. So I want to do this one again. I'll move that first one out of the way and try not to make too much of a mess. Probably should have wiped that off in between transferring it. And this time I only have to stamp it twice, so that worked out really well. And I'm going to leave those in place because I'm going to pull out the solid image. This is a great stamp set for any level of stamper. And it is a layering stamp set. You can see the back of the panel that comes with the stamp set shows you how to layer it together. So I'm just turning my card there the same way that I have stamped it so that I can line it up easily. This is actually a fairly easy one to line up, especially the bottom layer. So I'm using cotton candy ink here, and I'm just, for no other reason than habit, inking it up twice. It did not need to be inked a second time, but isn't that pretty? You could leave that, well, I'm actually going to leave that just like that. That flower has just 1 layer. Now the smaller bud, or the smaller flower, it actually has 2 layers. So I'm going to take that solid layer stamp, and I'm going to use my Mango Smoothie ink. I really like this ink. There are 4 inks in this set, and one is like a chocolate color, and then there's the Mango Smoothie, Cotton Candy, and Peach Parfait. And for whatever reason, I forgot to grab the Peach Parfait, so I'm going to kind of wing it here. And I'm just going to stamp the Cotton Candy over top of the Mango Smoothie, and it's going to give me a nice peach color. So that worked out just fine. And I'll take that second layer, and the second layer is just for the smaller of the 2. And this one I really had to play with to line up. You can see I always pull that sheet over and turn it the way I stamped my image so I can see how I have to line it up. And I'm going to do this again in both the Peach Parfait and the Mango Smoothie. I just really want a tone-on-tone look, and I'll do the same thing with the Mango Smoothie flower, the yellow one. I'm going to stamp that twice just because it'll make it a little bit darker when I do it when I stamp it the second time. Like if you want your ink to be slightly darker, just stamp it twice and you'll get a slightly dark. It's a very subtle detail. I could have probably left both of those yellow and used the Peach Parfait on top, and it would have been like a yellow and orange floral image that would be nice. So I cut down my panels. Now these panels are they're bigger than the sketch appears. The black one is 3 1/8 by 3 3/4, and this white panel is 3 by 3 5/8. So that black panel is only 1/8 inch longer and 1/8 inch wider, which will give me a 1/16 inch border. I want that border to be pretty subtle. I'm not hugely in love with layered cards lately. I don't know why. So I'm taking there are 3 leaf images, and I'm going to just stamp those in that permanent black, and I'm going to try to get them high and low, and do, you know, a couple different ones, and try to place them in a way that when I put those flowers back on, I'll still be able to see them. And I'm going to take my frayed leaf marker. This marker is actually from the primary set, and the primary set has the mango smoothie, the cotton candy, and the frayed leaf in it. So it's actually kind of a nice set. It's got a variety of different colors that you can use just to do. I just did flicking. I didn't fill in. I just flicked that color in. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment right onto that panel because that's what the sketch calls for. And I'm just using the tiny little hello. And it is a tiny font, and that ink is a crisp ink. So it does a nice job on the tiny little fonts. So I like this ink, and I did not push it down. I did not push down hard. So I'm just taking the cotton candy marker from the primary set of Altenew alcohol markers, and I'm just filling in the centers. There is a little stamp that you can stamp those centers, but I'm going to use yellow for the one that I created as the orange, and the pink one's kind of filled in when I stamped it, so I'm not going to worry about that. So now I'm just going to take some foam dots, and I'm just putting 1 foam dot on each flower, and I'm just going to kind of arrange those so that my leaves show and that the florals overlap, and they're kind of all to the right, or excuse me, the left of the panel. And when I cut them out, my brother Scan and Cut actually cut off one of the petals of the pink, and it ended up, I just trimmed it down a little bit, and it ended up looking okay, so I didn't worry about that. I like the way that it looks. I like the way that it looks with those 3 different colors on there too. I think that it's fun to have a variety. With 3 ink pads, you can get 3 different colors. So this is the double-sided scrapbook.com tape. That's like 3/4 of an inch wide. So I'm just using that to attach my white panel to my black panel, and then I'm going to use that to attach it to my card base, and then I'll pull out the sketch again, but I definitely want to put some enamel dots because the sketch does have, it doesn't feel finished, and I'll add those enamel dots. But the other thing too, it also had like what looked like a ribbon across the center, so this looks kind of plain, like something is missing on the right hand side there, so I'm definitely going to do a little something to, you know, fill in that spot on the right hand side. It just felt like it needed something. And I'm going to take, these are a variety of neutral colors of enamel dots from Altenew, and I'm just going to use 3 of them, and that will be all I'm going to add there. Keep it easier to mail. So I just want to fill in that one spot. I could take my black marker and just draw a line there, or 2 lines, but I'm going to take that little tiny leaf image, and I'm going to stamp that and just give it a few flicks of the green marker, and that'll kind of finish off the card. And that's it. And if I look at the sketch, it works for that sketch. I like it. So we would love to have you play along at Atlantic Arch Sketch Challenge this week. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel while you're here, and give this video a like. And thank you so much for watching.